It's 18 away from 9 now. Economists are forecasting that interest rates will start to fall by the end of next year. They're also predicting house prices to jump between 7 to 15% over the next 12 months. So, should you buy now or do you wait for a year? Thanks to our partners at Property Apprentice, owner and financial advisor Debbie Roberts joins us now to break it all down. Debbie,
hello.
Lovely to see you.
Thank you for having me back.
Yeah, so it is a different environment out there post-election, right? Are you starting to see the market is turning?
Yeah, absolutely. Almost, well, to be fair, the market started turning back in February. Yeah. So we can't just blame the election for the market turning now. You know, things were already in progress. And I think a lot of people were waiting until the result of the election. But as far as waiting for interest rates to drop or whether you should get out there and buy now, I think the only people that should be waiting are people that can't get lending because of the test rates at the moment. And so when interest rates do start coming down, bank lending will start to get easier. But, you know, as you mentioned, a lot of economists are predicting prices to rise over the next 12 months, anywhere between 7 and I think the highest figure I've heard is 15%.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to let people know, interest rates, temporary problem, purchase price, permanent problem.
Yeah, okay. And so you've kind of looked at two situations and done an example of what people might be looking at in the numbers, right? I think we've got a graphic we can pull up and then if you want to talk us through that.
Okay, cool. So if person A buys now and then person B waits for a year for interest rates to come down, so the comparison there is, you know, person A buys now on a 1-year fixed rate at 7.3%, which is about average for the 1-year fixed rates at the moment. Person B waits for 12 months, has an average, I worked out an average of like 10% capital growth, sort of as a midpoint between 7 and 15-ish. So if we got a 10% increase in house prices, but interest rates are maybe 6% in 12 months. Now, I'm not saying that they will be, because a lot of economists are expecting interest rates to come down quite slowly. So this is kind of best case scenario on the interest rates in 12 months potentially, but what this shows is that person A who buys now with high interest rates, they're going to be a lot better off financially because they're going to save $78,500 on the purchase price if they buy the median. Right. They'll save $15,700 on a deposit if they need a 20% deposit. Their mortgage is going to be $62,800 less than person B. And then in 12 months, if person A refixes at 6% when they come off their 1-year fixed rate, their mortgage payments are going to be $4,488 a year cheaper than person B.
Wow, okay.
It's quite significant. And they'll also have an extra $78,500 in equity in the house that they buy now rather than waiting for a year. So significant benefit if you're purchasing sooner rather than later.
Wow. Yeah, so if you can get the lending, don't look at the interest rates. You
need to look at the interest rates.
Well, no, but I mean...
you need to make sure you can afford the mortgage.
Of course, but if you can get the lending, if you've been tested on that and you can, then it's worth getting in now rather than thinking I'm going to watch the interest rates and watch for them to come down.
Yeah, and a lot of people are waiting for interest rates to come down because they keep hearing how high they are. So that's why I wanted to say, you know, temporary problem with the interest rates, purchase price is the permanent problem.
Yeah. Property Apprentice owner and financial advisor Debbie Roberts. Lovely to see you and thank you very much for taking the time to do those numbers. It's very useful for people to see.
Yeah, we always talk about it and we were saying, I wonder what, and now we wonder. Debbie, thank you.